Welcome back to YellowCard Vanguard. I'm your host, Toku from It's Toku TV on Twitch. Throughout the week, I'm streaming Vanguard on my Twitch channel. We'll be building decks, playtesting, and just having a grand old time, so be sure to swing on by. With new clan collection reveals coming out every day, you know what that means. It's time for a new chapter of clan collection cores. I want to preface this video and the entirety of the series by saying that many of these lists are entirely conceptual and surface deep, and will need your own playtesting to fine-tune. But each of these will aim to provide a way of thinking on how to take your new support in Clan Collection 3 and 4 and put it into a working deck. They won't all be optimized, but I believe they will be a good baseline to build off of. Welcome to Clan Collection Cores. Do you feel a storm brewing? Because Maelstrom Reverse has descended upon the Aquaforce clan and clan collection cores. I already think Maelstrom is really good in the V Premium format due to the prevalence of Heal Guardians and the lack of naturally 20k shields. Let's see if Maelstrom Reverse is able to improve on that strategy at all. Blue Storm, Karma Dragon, Maelstrom Reverse. God, what a cool name. At the end of the battle that your rearguard attacked, if that attack did not hit, you can lock one of your standing rearguards and Maelstrom Reverse gains 10k until the end of the turn. Also, if we have a Maelstrom in Soul, we can retire one of our opponent's rearguards. Finally, when Maelstrom Reverse attacks, if it is the 4th battle of the turn or more, we can counterblast one to gain a crit and a drive until the end of the turn. Then at the end of the battle, if it did not hit, for each of our locked cards, our opponent chooses a card from their hand or rearguards and puts it to the drop zone. Maelstrom Reverse is interesting. I think there's a lot of potential here, but we need to dig pretty deep to find out how to make it work. I like the first effect a lot. It's pretty simple and not restricted to anything except having a Maelstrom in Soul, and is a good way to get a lot of 2-for-1s. Forcing your opponent to guard easy attacks, which then leads to them losing their field. This then leads into the second effect pretty well too. If the majority of our attacks are being guarded, we can expect to be locking around 2, 3, maybe even 4 rearguards and retiring that many from our opponent's side. Then when Maelstrom inevitably gets PG'd, we get to use this effect to further remove more cards from our opponent's board in hand, thus crippling them from countering us on their next turn. That being said, I don't think it's as good as a finisher that Glory is. There's no guard restriction associated with Maelstrom Reverse, so outside of being a crit drive PG bait that's also a field wipe, I don't think it does too much to help close out said games. Maybe using this to soften them up, then on the next turn ride Glory will be a sure kill. It needs a lot of testing. The new grade 2 is Tyrannite Valeria. During the battle that she attacks, if it is the 4th battle of the turn or more, this unit gains 10k. Then, on the Vanguard or the rearguard circle, when her attack hits, if it's the 3rd battle of the turn or more, retire an opponent's rearguard, and if it's the 4th battle of the turn or more, draw a card. I really like Valeria. I think she's super generic and can go into a lot of decks. In the context of Maelstrom, however, I think she's mandatory now. I still think the win con of Maelstrom is still onslaughting our opponent with that 1-card guard lock, and having units attack for so large, unable to be guarded, is perfect. There is a new boss unit as well in Cobalt Wave Dragon, but he's his own thing and honestly pretty uninteresting, so we're gonna focus more on Maelstrom today. He's also not Pursuit Assault. So with our 2 new cards introduced, let's take a look at what I envision Maelstrom to be. To restate once more, I think the best win con in Maelstrom is still Glory Maelstrom. Defensive options aren't favorable in most decks save for some, in Glory Maelstrom being able to buff the Drifting Flow Fencer and now Tyrannite Valeria as well, 2 power counts that are actually unguardable without PGs, is the way to go. To get to that point, we need a really strong first turn, and that is using original Maelstrom alongside our hit enablers as well as multiple press stream dragons to gain an overall card advantage with our restanding Vanguard. With that spiel out of the way, let's take a look at the list. So once again, our Maelstrom lineup. Our ideal first grade 3 ride is Blue Storm Dragon Maelstrom. We run him at 4 copies. We want to play him alongside multiple press stream dragons, getting to 3 or 4 drives twice. Next, we run 4 copies of Blue Storm Supreme Dragon Glory Maelstrom. This is our finisher. In 9 out of 10 matchups, Glory Maelstrom will always be the preferred endgame. As stated before, the disappearance of 20k heal trigger shields make guarding Glory Maelstrom a real pain. If we can get any units to attack for 28k or more, that's pretty much guaranteed to hit. I've opted to run 2 copies of Maelstrom Reverse, honestly, as 2 more Maelstrom names for our Maelstrom specific effects, namely Press Stream Dragon now having 10 different cards to discard for his effects. There might be certain matchups as well against boards that clear themselves, such as Pale Moon or Grand Blue, where Maelstrom Reverse could be really good, and the standing rearguards that we lock end up acting as if they were attacking from the back, since each locked card will make our opponent discard one since they have nothing to retire. Then our co-stars as we go into our glory turn. 4 copies of Tier Knight Valeria, being able to attack at 19k base, then 29k after Glory's buff, shirks her out of that 15k trigger shield range. Same reasoning here with Drifting Flow Fencer, swinging at 24k base and 34k after Glory's buff. Drifting Flow Fencer also has the added benefit of being able to find Maelstroms to add to the hand for Press Stream's discard effect. We can then look into supporting our base Maelstrom turn. We're going to run 4 copies of Press Stream Dragon. As we go into turn 3, we want to hopefully find 2 copies of Press Stream Dragon, but at least 1 for sure. This, in combination with Maelstrom's restand effect, will get huge value, and quad drive twice is not outside the realm of reality. It's not like Press Stream Dragon rots as you ride off of base Maelstrom either. Giving Glory Maelstrom an extra drive gives you 1 extra drive check to find a trigger, which might push an 18k attacker to 28k. We're also going to run 4 copies of Analyze Shooter. On hit, when it boosts, search for 2 Maelstroms with different names. 2 Maelstroms that we can discard for Press Stream. We can combo this with our next card to guarantee the on hit. We run 4 copies of Radiate Assault as our on hit guarantee. To ensure we get full value out of him, we can use Press Stream first to discard a Maelstrom, then plop down the Analyze and Radiate Assault. And now that we have a Maelstrom in drop zone, we can filter it back to draw a card as well. Finally, because Press Stream is a counterblast for each copy, Glory Maelstrom is a counterblast as well, we will be counterblasting a lot as we go through the game. We're going to run 3 copies of Light Signal Penguin Soldier for countercharge. We can also get double usage out of the 5k buff that it has by putting it behind the base Maelstrom. Let's get into the trigger lineup. It's going to be 8 criticals, 4 draws, and 4 heal guardians. Now, why aren't we playing fronts? Wouldn't front triggers on Glory Maelstrom swing be a guaranteed win sometimes? And to that I say, yeah, it would. But we get what? 2 drive checks on Glory? Maybe 3 if we still have a Press Stream? The majority of our drive checks are performed on base Maelstrom, a restanding Vanguard, where criticals perform that much better. Just flipping a crit from one of our 6 drive checks is enough to push our opponent to 4 or 5, and can just be immediately cleaned up right after by Maelstrom Glory. That's pretty much my conceptual list here. We cut some cards from the original Maelstrom list, but let's talk about them and what other ideas to consider. One of the omitted cards, but definitely worth considering cards, is Jewel Staff of Emerald Elpida. Played mainly for her effect to guarantee the on-hit for base Maelstrom to restand. Also gets boosted to 29k by Glory on the Axel Circle. Consider running her again if you need another source of guaranteeing on-hit. I also need to mention Bubble Ball Corporal. Has an on-hit effect as well to check top 7 for a Maelstrom. Obviously can be guaranteed to it as well, but I chose to run Analyze Shooter instead because with Analyze Shooter, there's absolutely no chance of it missing, and also thinning the deck by 2 is better than thinning only by. If you want to get spicy with Maelstrom Reverse specifically, however, you can look into some restanding units. You can choose to kind of run Maelstrom Reverse, rewriting to Maelstrom Reverse as an option. Attacking with Terrific Coil Dragon or Tidal Assault, as they'll be standing after the battle, letting you immediately lock said attacker if it didn't hit. This can increase your lock count a lot more than expected, and can lead to some big discards for Maelstrom Reverse's skill. Now, to summarize things up, there wasn't much that Maelstrom needed outside of more consistency, and having another set of Maelstrom names to play does help that. The majority of Maelstrom support came from last clan collection actually, goading on people to play Heal Guardians over their 20k shields. We gained another strong front row attacker in Valeria as well. All in all, despite being a small buff, a buff nonetheless. And until Pursuit Assault arrives in English, Maelstrom looks to be the major contender for Aquaforce. In any case, this has been it from me on this episode of Clan Collection Cores. Be sure to subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Like the video as it helps motivate us to keep the gears going, and leave a comment down below because every little bit helps the channel. This has been Toku from YellowCard Vanguard channel. Toku out.